Before we do number 9, actually, let's do a warm-up. So the warm-up is going to be, what is 2 times 3 times 4? And if you think about it, you can't actually come up with the answer right away. I mean, you can't, I guess in a calculator you could type in 2 times 3 times 4. And what do you know? The calculator tells us it's 24. But that's not how humans do it. We don't simultaneously multiply 3 numbers at once. So what we usually do is we might, for example, multiply the last 2 numbers first, which would give us 2 times 12, which would be 24. Or maybe we multiply the first number into the second number. So we multiply the first 2 numbers. So maybe we get, so if we had 2 times 3 times 4, I put the arrow in the wrong spot, that goes into there. And we get 6 and still in brackets times 4, and 6 times 4 is 24. Or, technically, we could actually, if we really felt like it, we could multiply those 2 numbers first. 2 times 4 is 8 times 3, which again is 24. So the point is, the way we multiply 3 things together is we multiply 2 of them first, and then multiply that answer by the third term. So number 9 for real. So here we have something times something times something. We have 3 things multiplied by each other. And I'm going to show it in 2 different ways. So we're going to call this method 1. So method 1 is, I'm going to use kind of a square bracket. So I'm going to put the last 2 terms into a square bracket. And 4x plus 5. So I haven't really done anything. I've just said I'm going to do the last 2 examples first. I'm going to do the last, I'm going to multiply the last 2 terms first. Then I'm going to actually do it. And so I get 3 times 4 is 12x squared. 3 times 5 is 15x. 2 times 4, 8. 2 times 5 is 10. Then I'm going to combine my like terms here because I feel like it. Though technically I don't have to, but I'm going to. Plus 23x plus 10. So I FOILed it. So I didn't explain what FOIL was, but I multiplied these things first. And then what I did was, I'm going to take this 2 now, I'm going to multiply it to each term in the bracket. So I'm going to expand that bracket. And we get 2 times 12, 24x squared. 2 times 23 is 46x. And 2 times 10 is 20. And that's the answer. Let's do it in a different way. So this one we're going to call method 2. So method 2 is essentially, I'm putting a bracket around the first 2 instead of the last 2. So I put it around the first 2. Now why would that matter? Because the way I multiply these guys together is multiply this in. I need to be careful. We have to leave this in a bracket. So it's going to be, it's kind of still in that pink bracket. So 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times 2 is 4. Times 4x plus 5. Here we have some square pink brackets, some curvy blue brackets. Brackets are brackets, parentheses. It's all the same thing. It just means do that first. We have binomial times a binomial. We're down to our usual shenanigans. So this multiplies into there. This multiplies into there. And we get 24x squared plus 30x plus 16x plus 20, which is 24x squared. 30 plus 16 is 46, plus 20, which is the same answer we got before. 24x squared plus 46x plus 20, 24x squared plus 46x plus 20. Before I move on, I'm just going to quickly... I said FOIL was an acronym that we use. And it's not a very useful one, actually. It's not one I would memorize for sure. But it's a faster way of saying multiply binomials. So what does it mean? So if we look at our arrows... So if we look at these two terms, the first thing we do is we multiply by the first part of each bracket. So that's kind of an F. Then we multiply by the outside two terms. And then we multiply by the two inside terms. And then we multiply the two last terms. So it's first, outside, inside, last. I'm not sure if it's that useful, but that's FOIL.